Hey guys, Mecha-san here. Okay, with a WatchMojo reaction that brought back some memories here. The top 20 best cartoons you forgot existed. The thumbnail had Samurai Pizza Cat, which I never saw actually. Never saw at all. And it opens up here with obviously the opening to Captain Planet and the Planeteers. That one I did see. In fact, I saw a lot of that here on the reruns. Kind of think of it. Does anyone know a website that tells us how long shows went on in reruns after their series finale was aired? Because yeah, this a bunch of shows lasted for a while in the reruns, just even long after they supposedly concluded the stories. And this actually reminds me of two shows right now that I watched here. One, not that much here. In fact, I only remember like one, maybe two quick scenes. And the commercial for it, if you ever heard of it, called Rotten Ralph, which was a stop motion, almost claymation show. Yeah, can't believe I remember that. The other is Ned's Newt. Now this one I did remember a lot here. I watched a lot here, a lot of episodes where kid gets a pet newt, feeds him this food called Zippo, and he turns into like, well, think Beetlejuice from the cartoon. Shape shifting and everything, going on adventures, parodying movies, real life movies. People don't do that anymore. Actually, a lot of modern cartoons don't really just like reference actual movies. Why is that here? That was such a thing in the 90s and 2000s. Even in the more serious shows, they did that here. They sometimes reference a bunch of the old cartoons, like old movies and cartoons and such, and TV shows. But yeah, let's just let me watch this. Hopefully the audio's okay.
Our world is in peril. Gaia, the spirit of the earth, can no longer stand the terrible destruction plaguing our planet.
Yep. Magic 5 special young people. Like we saw the parody they did on Rick and Morty. Samurai Jack. Nobody forgot Samurai Jack existed. Hi, Puffy Yummy Yumi. Yeah, I mean, I didn't forget. I still remember the song here, like the actual band. I think I still got their album. Hi, Puffy Yummy Yumi, go. And I know the fact that they also did the theme song for the original Teen Titans cartoon.
Those dumb little toys.
Oh.
And
Okay, yeah, I think that was during the whole, I guess, Beanie Baby bubble we had. Reboot.
This list, we're taking a look.
I did not hate. I still remember Reboot. I still remember Reboot. I hate what they did with the Garden Code, so.
Fell through the cracks after they final episodes.
I've heard this in other. Darkwing Duck, come on. But yeah, like when are we gonna get Darkwing Duck cartoon reboot series?
But they were awesome nonetheless. Which of these cartoons did you miss?
Mice from Mars. Mice from Mars.
Number 20, Mummies Alive. With the strength of Ra. Remember this animated series about ancient Egyptian mummies? After Scarab kills Prince Ramses, he reawakens in the modern world on his quest to find Presley, who never spirit, so he can become immortal.
I vaguely remember this series, but I never really watched it.
Don't you recognize me, my prince? Don't you remember your old pal, Scarab?
Luckily, 12-year-old Presley is protected by a group of dedicated mummies, Armin,
the Guardians,
and yeah. Different Egyptian gods and spirits appeared in the short-lived show, like Anubis, Set, Geb, and Apep, with each mummy paired
Kids
with
DHX.
Unfortunately, it was canceled after its first season due to low ratings.
Yeah.
With 42 episodes to go through, this gem is
42 episodes. Wait. 42 episodes. Yeah, that was a thing back then here. Like, in the 90s and 2000s, a single season, like, we think of a season of a cartoon, it's typically around 20 to 30 episodes tops, and that's if you're lucky. But back then, it's like a full season could have, like, almost 50.
Just give Scarab the spirit or the syrup or whatever he wants and get this over with. Go on, take it. He can have it.
No, he can't.
Number 19, Brave Star.
87 to 88.
Or two about making entertaining sci-fi shows.
Brave Stars?
Very few remember the
Never heard of it.
Ever produced. Brave Star. A Carium rush has brought colonists to the far-off planet of New Texas, and most of them
New Texas. And of course, they're like, oh my god, Western accent and everything. Wow. This is common. Like space cowboy, space western.
If he's ever in a jam, Brave Star can call on the power of...
Yeah, we need more of those actually. Just regular westerns.
At the time, Brave Star offered morals that anyone at any age can learn. With
common at the 80s.
Others.
I promise not to tell, but I have to, cause I'm really worried. It's Jay. He's a spin addict.
You did the right thing to tell me, Brad.
Unfortunately,
okay, wow.
Measure up to shows like He-Man, and after one last origin film,
okay, yeah.
the show and Filmation were shut down for good. Number 18.
Too bad. Count Duckula.
Am I thinking that the grass is getting too long when all the time it's you?
The first time I heard of Count Duckula was when the Nostalgia Critic brought him up here in like his top 10 catchiest cartoon theme songs, where he had DuckTales or something, and it's like he compared it to Indiana Jones meets Duckula.
Making the castle smaller. What do you think you're doing?
I've heard it a few times after that, but
Duckula always dreamed of having his own show. He finally got his wish in 1988 with his very own spin-off.
Danger Mouse?
Some form of him did. It turns out that the Count actually comes from a long dynasty of vicious vampire ducks.
But
his villainous predecessor, this new descendant is a vegetarian pacifist with ketchup
Of
for blood.
ketchup for blood?
This series for its
Okay.
hilarious concept. A vegetarian vampire. How is that not funny?
Look, I've got...
Yeah. And especially the 80s and late 80s to like late to early 90s. That would have been hilarious, a concept here. Nowadays, it's nothing new.
Stuck to my model of the Titanic. The glue sort of got a bit out of hand. Well, it got a bit sort of on the hand, really.
Sadly, the fun couldn't last forever, and the Count had to be put to rest from the airwaves. However, like the rest of his dynasty, he will always make a comeback in showbiz. Number 17.
Where? The Wuzzles?
Many remember Disney's Adventures of the Gummy Bears, but few remember the series that premiered on the same day. Welcome
Never
to
saw it.
Was home of the Wuzzles.
Never saw it. I know that got a reference to this series in like the episode of the DuckTales episode, the reboot DuckTales. I did not get it when I did the reaction to that episode.
Oh yeah, sure.
It took
Funny feeling in my tummy.
in fact, the only time, I think the first time I heard of the Wuzzles was when, I think, was it
You laid an egg,
maybe
And each
the Black
episode
Nerd,
follows fantastic adventures
Andre,
of strange
made a review of it, or someone else? No, I think it was another, a DuckTales, like, YouTuber? I don't know.
Could enjoy. Well, its first season
I don't
was
know, but-
success. Its time on the air was cut short after the tragic death of Bill Scott, the voice of
Ooh.
Moosel.
Yeah, that's gonna do it.
Look who's here. Hey, Moosel, is that you? Where's Hoppo?
In the bush. She's bushed.
Number 16. The Life
Ivan
and
Times
Times
of Juniper Lee.
Though
Yes!
there are wild and creepy
I did
monsters
like this.
lurking among us,
In a world full of
Prince
monsters
Gods
and demons,
mummies. Luckily, there's
June is the only one who sees them.
human and magic worlds.
She's the Tish. She's the Tish one.
$5 yesterday to clean up my room while I fought off the lava trolls.
Hooray! You paid your brother $5. That's how he cleans it up. That's how he would clean it up. Like he's like 5 years old or something like that. So of course, I just move it in there. Oh boy, boy, yeah, like Life and Times of Juniper Lee. I remember the first episode with the mummy, like the great come and get it here, but his friends call him Skeeter. The episode where they went to drama camp and like the dog. Oh, he enjoys the chef of that camp here because the guy just gives him food. He's like all deep fried. Oh God, just remembering all that. I'm like, I want some of that food here. I don't care. Oh, raise his body's cholesterol through the roof. Give me. Oh, good times. And of course, the episode in which Juniper learns that as a Tish-1Z, she can't leave the town's borders. That sucks.
Keeping peace between worlds doesn't help with our sassy protector's school or social life.
Yeah.
Somehow she keeps things flowing. This rare gem has been described as Buffy the Vampire Slayer meets The Simpsons, and although it's a fantasy story, it was never afraid to make fun of itself.
Yeah.
Things were not on the show's side, however.
I don't even.
Left.
Yeah, I think I don't know why, but I'm pretty sure I did. I did drop off, and for no reason, cause this character here, I have no idea who she's supposed to be.
Airwaves.
All right, all of you, out!
Who keeps the two worlds balanced now?
I don't know.
15. The Pirates.
The Pirates of Dark Water.
Produced cartoons have a solid track record, and this program is no exception. The Insidious
Again, I've heard about it via other YouTubers, but I never seen this show. Which is weird because, as I mentioned, it's a Hanna-Barbera cartoon. I watched Hanna-Barbera's. Like, they rerun a bunch of episodes here. Like the Herculoids, the original Space Goid, Birdman, the Johnny Quest, and a bunch of others.
The adventure ended on a cliffhanger, with only 8 treasures found, and the Dark Water undefeated.
What are we waiting for? Aren't there still 5 treasures left?
Let's set sail.
Number 14. Cadillacs and Dinosaurs.
Oh.
Dinosaurs suddenly returned after years of extinction. A savage future where nature's gone wild, and only the strong can survive. That's what.
Cadillac and Dinosaurs.
The series follows Jack Tenrick and his crew of mechanics.
Again, same thing as the last one here. I've heard this through other people talking about it, or maybe it appeared in another WatchMojo video. But who's? Wow, that's terrible.
Soon must form an alliance with the city in the sea.
Talk about low budget.
Hope for what's left of the human race.
This series was definitely ahead of its time. In addition to being well written and animated, the story tackled some very deep environmental
For the time, at least.
Like crooked governors who hate nature for taking their world, and freedom fighters who want to make peace with nature. Despite its cult following, the show ended after only
Cult following?
with no renewal plans.
The council thanks
This is an actual comic book?
saving the settlements and for maintaining the balance of life. I didn't think it could be done.
Number 13.
Bucky O'Hare and the Toad Wars.
In the faraway
Bucky O'Hare, I only know about him through the death battle he had with,
program,
Fox McCloud, Star Fox.
Plans to turn every animal into slaves.
It isn't fair. He was my slave, mine.
However, Captain Bucky O'Hare and his crew of the Righteous Indignation.
The Righteous
broke these
Indignation.
toads with the help of
That's a good name.
Willie. Based on the Continuity Comics series, this
Continuity Comics?
explored a vast and expanding universe of animals while following an intense story arc about intergalactic war. Sadly, it only lasted 13 episodes on the air, but at least it ended with a major victory for the funky green rabbit.
Okay, cool.
Number 12.
Oh!
XLR.
Now, please, dig giant robots wicks. Dig giant robots wicks.
Chicks dig giant
Yes.
robots, and so do
Yes.
1,000 years in the
This
future,
show got the
war with the
shaft.
forces of the Glorft, and the only hope for humanity is a giant time-traveling robot.
Yeah, and it was explained how apparently it was gonna be explained like how the Glorf came to be. It indeed was kind of fault of Coop. It's like the whole it's basically bootstrap paradox. It's like it's a closed loop situation where because the robot and the Glorf came back in time. You know, Coop found Megas and everything, and through shenanigans, Coop would be the one to first create the Glorf, and yeah, does start the process all over again.
Called Megas. Unfortunately, it travels too far into the past and gets discovered and modified by two slackers, Coop and Jamie.
Hey, I am a responsible adult.
Oh yeah, responsible.
Yeah, responsible.
Like nearly sucking the Earth into a black hole.
Yeah.
There's a spatial void. Thank you very much.
Yeah, with that, I think it was that Voltron parody. Oh boy, yeah, responsible. I mean, I give him. He's an engineering genius. There's no doubt about that.
Now Commander Kiva must train the two primitives to pilot Megas and defeat the Glorf for good. The pilot first aired as a part of a contest to see which show Cartoon Network would greenlight, and audiences loved this action comedy.
Oh, duh.
I've never seen before.
Sadly, there wasn't much love when it came to the ratings, prompting its unfortunate
How?
cancellation.
What's the rating? How can people not watch this?
Still have hope for a revival.
Yeah.
Number 11.
Oh, the Weekenders.
Must be like chili cheese fries.
Tino and everyone.
This Toon Disney classic was all about
Yeah.
the fun of living for the weekend. Our four favorite 7th graders, Tino, Lore, Carver, and Tish, took on Bahia Bay from Monday to
I
Friday.
love how the pizza kept changing every week. Like, how much money they got? But yeah, doesn't
crazy adventures.
appear here in, like, say, maybe Disney
My mom
cartoons.
said we should be supportive and wait.
Boring! Viewers were entertained at all times, whether it was watching these friends hit up the always changing pizza joint,
Yep.
the arcade, or a museum that gives away interesting free samples. Despite its positive reviews and ratings, it was
Yeah, it's a
canceled
nice
after 4
slice of
seasons.
life.
But it's definitely
I'll give it this: 4 seasons for what is essentially just a slice of life, a cartoon show in Disney. That's pretty good here, and like none of the characters are like anthropomorphic anything. It's just they're like human to cartoon humans and just going about their day. It was almost like this could have been the predecessor or not successor to Doug, which would make sense here because Doug was bought up by Disney and became Disney's Doug. And in fact, I gotta wonder, many of the people who the writing staff here, were they from Doug?
worth rediscovering, especially to pump you up for the weekend.
See, guys, you had fun.
Maybe.
I love how, yeah.
Little.
I mean, Tino.
I did like the dreadnought at
Yeah, like Tino is the most sarcastic. Black kid over there. He was big into fashion. Lore. Big into sports here, but like the Scottish sports because of her heritage, and she had 12 brothers. And the other girl right there, I think jumped from Jewish heritage, and there was a whole thing. She was obviously the smart one.
cheerleaders.
Number 10, Brace Face.
Every time they bring this up, Brace Face. Apparently there are some banned episodes here, which I never saw the list here, but just from a thumbnail alone tells me a lot. But yeah, I remember a lot of episodes here. I remember where the episode in which when she was hanging out with her dad, because her dad's like a bit of in a rock band. She got drunk. It's like this was I think was it ABC or Fox Family? So a bit more mature here, like more centered around, obviously centered more around teenagers than kids, but it was still something for the time period here, for like early 2000s, seeing this main character get drunk. Yeah, the whole thing was because her braces, due to electrical issues, something like that, somehow become like electromagnets and can get caught radio signals and something like that, and they made a big deal out of her. Like I think her name was Sharon Spitz. I'm surprised I remember the name.
I can't go out with Alden looking like this.
Yeah, the bracers.
You may have forgotten this animated show, but we've
Nah.
gotta ask. How could you forget the perpetually unlucky Sharon Spitz?
Yeah.
The face junior high school student experienced the ups and downs, well, mostly downs, of being a teenage girl.
With bracers.
Caught in embarrassing situations.
With braces.
Is there any papaya in there?
Yep.
Along with her pals Maria, Connor, Eldon, and Brock. She would often
Popular girl right there, the queen. Yep, Nina.
But thankfully, her friends always had her back. It may have only lasted for 3 seasons, but it was funny and relatable. And with Alicia Silverstone
but
serving
true.
as both executive producer and the voice of Sharon, we wish this often forgotten show had never left us.
And you didn't mention at all how her braces did crazy things at all, and how they're the cause of some of the embarrassing situations she finds herself in.
Someone will pick us up.
There, see?
They will.
Number 9, Dino Riders.
Dino Riders.
The gridlock's closing in on us.
Okay, I know there was like a toy line, which makes perfect sense here. Like those toys, but you make. I shouldn't be surprised that they made a cartoon.
In the middle of a war. Duh. Considering the Star Wars meets Jurassic Park premise, it's peculiar that Dino Riders only lasted 14 episodes. While it primarily existed to sell toys, this cartoon really epitomized every imaginative little kid's dream by not only
I
but also spaceships.
Knew of toys, did not know about the cartoon, even though it makes perfect sense. Frank Welker.
My plan is working better than I had anticipated.
Oh my God, it is Dr. Claw, and thank you for reminding me of the Inspector Gadget cartoon. They actually did revive that a bit here with a CGI. I never I couldn't get into it. I gave it a shot.
Number 8.
The Biker Mice from Mars.
Hey, Brock, watch me blow past that snort.
Yeah, let's air on like Fox Kids or something, or WB.
Early 90s cartoons.
But
a lot of them sounded like 50s B movies targeted at kids.
Yeah. Even back then, I was like, no thanks. I'd rather. What's on the other like Saturday morning cartoon block currently airing at this time? It was either, what was it? Depending on what channel it was, here it could have been either Power Rangers, Godzilla, or I don't know.
The most notable examples was Biker Mice from Mars. Just try to say that title out loud without
Biker Mice from Mars.
The idea of biker mice Martians named Throttle, Moto, and Vinny may seem
really
like a combination. These elements went together better than crackers and cheese.
Break time.
I can see it. Out to lunch. Okay, that is funny.
With self-aware humor, creative characters, and colorful action, this sci-fi action cartoon knew exactly.
I mean, I seen the commercial. I know there were toys. I saw toys in freaking Toys R Us.
Number 7, Samurai Pizza Cat.
Yeah, again, nope.
It might sound like a Ninja Turtles ripoff, but Samurai Pizza Cats was actually an English adaptation of an anime series.
Yeah.
Reworked with new dialogue for its US release.
Yeah, this was back then where they do this.
I was having a fine day till this monster came along.
It never stopped to take a breather as pop culture references and rapid talking.
I miss those. Can we just have those again? Give me pop culture references. It dates them, but hey, I'm fine with that here.
With a bowl of unhealthy cereal.
And I never knew about it here. What channel did this air on?
How about a little later?
Number 6.
Hi, Puffy Ami Yumi, go!
The J-pop group Puffy Ami Yumi is immensely popular in Japan, but
the biggest in Japan.
Series in America, created by Sam Register, a fan of the real-life group. This series follows the hilarious misadventures of our cartoon rock stars as they tour the world to perform rocking music and bring
it was fun
around the globe.
So we're still a band?
Yeah, of course you got.
Japanese culture. Even the voice actresses, Janice Kawaye and Grey Delisle, can speak fluent Japanese.
Oh, cool!
Crazy melting monkey.
Did not know that.
Fight? You're my best friend, Ami. I could never fight you.
Aww.
Phew.
Yeah.
The real-life Ami Yumi
They
made
also-
live-action appearances throughout the
Yeah.
series, and even provided some of the songs. Sadly, even though it increased Cartoon Network's audience, CN pulled the series plug in 2006. And that was that.
Yeah, I mean,
Number
it was kind of a fad. It kind of, I mean, like all thing, you base it around a band. You can only go so far before people move on to the next thing. And it wasn't J-pop. It would be J-rock. Then go on and on and on. Just general anime music here soon. Yeah, because at the same time of Puffy Amiyumi, there was that here, but then I move on to, well, basically anything Gundam. And just went on from there. Oh, Dark Wing Duck.
5. Darkwing Duck.
Timeout. This is best cartoons you forgot existed. Who the hell forgot that Darkwing Duck existed? Please tell me, especially after the reboot DuckTales brought in Darkwing Duck.
Another order of dastardly delinquents deposited on your doorstep, courtesy of Darkwing Duck.
Darkwing Duck essentially took all the adventure, wit, and imagination of DuckTales and put them in a superhero setting.
Yeah, I gotta love it.
The cartoon from all the other comedic superheroes.
Yeah, Jim Cummings here was great here. Mega Dog, all the other all these.
Egomaniac.
Yeah, he was Egomaniac. We loved him.
You're messing with the mighty mallard.
You sure this is the right guy?
You sure this is the right guy?
I get through with you. You're gonna wish Negaduck was duck enough to do his own dirty deeds.
The self
Yep, that's him.
maintained a strong moral center through his plucky daughter Gosselin,
Gosselin,
sidekick Launchpad,
Launchpad, I love him.
and off-again girlfriend Morgana, in a
Oh,
never-ending
yes.
pursuit to take on the incredibly inventive villains.
Gizmo
that
Duck
plagued
here, a
the
bunch of other people
series.
showed up.
While we haven't gotten a reboot yet, a new
It's
comic
got a
series
pep.
featuring the beloved Duck was
That is
released
true.
in January 2023.
It's continuation.
So there's still hope.
Yeah, it was a bit of a continuation of the story here where he just stopped being Darkwing Duck, especially after this new company formed. And yeah, there was some deep sections here, like when he calls Launchpad just to hear his voice. He doesn't even reply to him or anything like that. He just calls Launchpad to hear him talk, and then he just hangs up, looking all dejected and such. Oh yeah, Negaduck here. It's like, oh god, why couldn't they continue the comic here? Especially when you have an ending here where Negaduck is working with Magica Dispel from DuckTales. By the way, I love how Scrooge McDuck appeared in the end as well here to organize everything. And, you know, Taurus Bulba here with the Steerinator. That's hilarious.
Now it's time to say goodbye.
Then it, oh god, he just loves the chainsaw. Oh, please. They teased that Negaduck was coming in DuckTales, the reboot. Bring him in!
Number 4.
Reboot, yeah.
Prepare to taste the blade of my
Butter knife?
butter knife.
Yes.
Believe it or not, kids, there was a time when CGI animation was considered innovative. Reboot was the first television series to be completely rendered through computers, and it put the technology to great use.
Yeah, this was early. This was like the first attempt. It does not age well. People look at this. I've seen recent people look at this like, oh my god, this is horrible. Over dramatic, obviously, but understandable here. Like, this is crude 90s CG. This is the first full CG cartoon, and my opinion, I still can watch it easily. I can get through the visual because, like, nostalgia. Thank you and everything, but the story was good here. The writing was great. You had Tony J as the big bad here, Megabyte, and he sold it. Then we have Hexadecimal. There were some great characters. From Bob, Dot, Enzo, and even some side characters like Mike the TV. And, oh, wow. And then they had like the whole thing with Damon here and the supercomputer. A lot of stuff here now, even back then, this was reliant on not knowing exactly how computers work here. I'm willing to bet a lot of kids, a lot of people who watched Reboot here at the time, they saw what playing games did in the computers here, where if you won, you damage a computer, and that turned a lot of people off. You're like, I don't want to play games on my computer here. If I win, I could wind up damaging it. But yeah, there's all that here, and of course it was Guardian Code, which...
This high-tech show had all the thrills of a
megabytes!
Characters and a unique world of its own.
Hack and slash. He betrayed you, of course.
Although some
Before
of the
saying,
animation might be dated by today's standards,
very dated.
Reboot remains a significant stepping stone between Tron and the CGI renaissance started by Toy Story. While Reboot did receive...
Oh boy. I'll give it this. I mean, because of Reboot, we also got Beast Wars, Transformers Beast Wars, which is one of the best Transformers shows. So yeah, it was a little more comedy here. And Transformers Prime sort of took some of that, but still.
A spin-off in 2018 in Netflix's Reboot the Guardian Code.
Please don't.
It has less in common with the original show than peanut butter has with pickles.
Ugh.
Can you please get a real reboot already?
Chaos will always triumph over order.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, hexadecimal there which changes our mask. And the thing is, the concept of a reboot here were the world of mainframe, the system of mainframe meets up with modern systems. Intriguing. Especially like I saw like the full clip here of when the humans who came into, enter like the system of reboot here. Okay, I gotta admit, that was insulting about that reboot fan and all that props, things like that. But the thing is, I liked how when they entered a GameCube and familiar games, they couldn't reboot here because the game was too old. They were incompatible. I like that here. I would like to see what would happen if Bob, and mainframe cut off from the rest of the system here, now plugged back in here, but architecture has changed here. Like, what would the supercomputer be like? What is, so much I gotta ask. It'd be interesting to see, the old meets the brand new.
Number 3.
Samurai Jack. No one forgot or will ever forget Samurai Jack.
The most cinematic television series ever
So,
unlike some action cartoons that relied heavily on exposition and dialogue, Samurai Jack told a slew of diverse stories through a dazzling fusion of choreography, atmosphere, and animation. Creator Genndy Tartakovsky had hoped to bring Jack and Aku's ongoing battle to a conclusion with a feature film, but it never came to fruition.
We got a final season.
A decade hoping for a Samurai Jack movie, comic or TV revival, their beloved samurai got his final...
I gotta play the game that came out here.
A long overdue fifth
that game's in canon, right?
Jack. Number 2.
Shadow Raiders.
Also known as War Planets.
The same studio as well as Mainframe, the ones that did Reboot. I'm actually started to rewatch that show. On off really here. I got a tab open on my phone so I can just lie down and just watch it from there. Damn. But yeah, the show ended on a cliffhanger here. In the end, it felt like, okay, we kind of won. We defeated the Beast Planet, but then we look back and no, the Beast Planet is still there. You won the battle, but you haven't won the war. Planet Tech. That's the first episode.
A spiritual successor of sorts to Reboot, this CGI sci-fi series takes place in a solar system known as the Cluster. When the dreaded Beast Planet rises into power,
the planets all have very simple names.
Bone and Ice join forces to save the galaxy they all call home. With an original mythology and strong connection to nature, Shadow Raiders is a surprisingly
Braveheart there.
The importance of unity.
We cannot allow it to destroy our freedom, our hope, our very lives.
Yeah, Graveheart there was a minor and became like the unifying factor of the Alliance. Whew.
The show is so much more than either of its titles would lead you to believe. And even though it was based on the Trendmaster's toy line, it's
Really?
on its own
I had no idea about that.
innovative and well executed.
I mean, I figured I was going to get toys.
Find a way to get this.
I figured there had to be a toy line, duh. But the toys came first. But
The ship up and running. I'll rally the troops.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
I gotta prep myself more.
1, gargoyles.
I will never forget gargoyles exist to this day. Like the comics are the new line of comics that continues right off from where Greg Weisman left off. And the other comic as well here. Oh, you can't forget.
Brothers and sisters have all the
If there was ever an animated series that deserved a wider audience,
yes,
it was Gargoyles.
Gargoyles, yes.
That's not to say the show hasn't found a dedicated cult following over the years.
Cult following my... I also still claim, let Goliath and Elisa get married and let them have a hybrid child! I want to scream at the top of my lungs, but unfortunately, I gotta take care of the fact that, new place, there are neighbors, so yeah. So I'm keeping myself restrained right now, people. Even though I want to scream, give those two children. No magic or trick required. They just do it naturally. Please, let it happen. I know Greg Weisman said that's not gonna happen. He can change his mind. You got half the cast of Star Trek here, and in that show, freaking aliens from other planets can have children. At least here, humans and gargoyles come from the same planet.
But it's never quite achieved the same status as other cartoons produced by Disney.
Time is like a river, correcting its course against any change.
More of an ocean, but
Greg
yeah.
Weisman truly assembled a breathtaking epic, however.
Oh, yeah.
With stunning animation, a dark tone, sophisticated themes, complex characters, a well-developed plot, and influences from classic literature.
Oh, yeah.
If you never caught the show when it aired, drop everything and go check it out.
On Disney
It's
Plus.
an experience you won't forget anytime soon.
Oberon.
Did you enjoy this video?
To answer the question, nah, I'm not. I mean, there were so many other cartoons that they could have mentioned. Heck, I remember right now, Flint the Time Detective. Although that was an animated adaptation, but how many remember Flint Time Detective? How many of you guys remember the Jumanji cartoon? Godzilla the series, which I'm currently apparently they're throwing the show back on Throwback Tunes or something on YouTube there. Again, I mentioned Rotten Ralph and Ned's Newt. There was a lot of cartoons that many people forgot they existed. But seriously, it's like Gargoyles, Samurai Jack, Darkwing Duck. Nah. So yeah, list as far as I'm concerned, it was good at first. Started out good, I mean, some were questionable, but as it went on, what the heck? Really? I mean, Mecha-san, nah. Brace face, oh yeah, definitely. It's like, hi, puffy, I'm a Yumi. Sad, but I can see it. And you love the Hanna-Barbera stuff here. Heck, put on Herculoids. Heck, people actually reference the Flintstone a lot here, but I'm sorry, yeah, people remember more of the Flintstones than they do the Jetsons. Or, the Back to the Future cartoon. There was a lot of cartoons of movies, live action movies, stuff like that, that was like, why? Just Why? Oh, I could just sit here and think of cartoons that came out. Let them sit in my head, go through my archives, and just recall them. No, for some reason, Beakman's World came up to mind, but it wasn't a cartoon. Not at all. Still, the big guy in Rusty. Oh god, yes. Like, wow. I know if I could sit here, I could keep remembering, but we'll be here all day. So overall, I gotta give this list. It started out strong, pretty strong, even for the cartoons. I like what? But as it went on, seriously, no. If anything, heck. Oh wow, I just remembered Muppet Babies. I think people are glad they forget that cartoon. I don't have a problem with it. But now I'm remembering a lot of Nick Jr. shows like Little Bear, Rupert. Now I'm recalling some Disney shows, Disney like kids show, very like little taller kids show like PB&J Otter, Roly Poly Oly. Oh well, it's actually Maggie and the Ferocious Beast in Nowhere Land. Now I remember some other stuff from like Fox Kids, like Angela Anaconda, which was brought up before, and like a Nostalgia Critic. Jeez, I watch a lot of cartoons. The 90s and 2000s were like almost a renaissance period, like a golden or slightly silver age. And nowadays, there are still great cartoons here, but how long do they go? Typically, like 20 episodes, if a season or so, if that. Ah, well, so everyone, thank you for watching. Let me just close it down here. As always, kind of what you all thought. Like, subscribe for more videos. Till next one, this is Mecha-san, logging out.